Introduction. After completing their education and gaining various skills, people always aspire to get employed and put their skills into use. It is the desire of people to get opportunities to work in organizations where the terms of employment are favorable. Consequently, people always switch from one job to another and from one organization to another, searching for better working conditions. In this regard, there have been great debates as to whether it is beneficial to work in the private sector rather than working in the public sector. Arguably, each sector has its advantages and disadvantages. Private sector versus public sector employment, comparison and examples. Most people highly treasure the opportunity to work in the public sector, compared to working in the private sector, because of the benefits that are associated with the first. Firstly, the public sector offers probably the highest level of job security compared to the private sector. It is argued that it is rare for people working in the public sector to get fired, even when they are not performing to high expectations. Job security is even more assured if the employees are doing their best in executing their duties. Moreover, even when employees in the public sector are found with mistakes, they usually receive a fair trial. On the same note, government employees get several benefits which are not given to private sector workers. These include better working hours, medical covers, and retirement benefits. Moreover, there is a common perception among the public that public sector employees are treated better than their counterparts in the private sector. However, people usually fail to recognize the disadvantages of working in the public sector. One disadvantage of working in the public sector is the inability to easily climb up the ladder. Seldom exceptional employees in the public sector are recognized and rewarded. On the same note, it is not easy for one to secure government jobs because of the few positions that are usually available. Moreover, if the opportunities are announced, the hiring process is very harsh, thus leaving many people out. On the other hand, there are people who prefer working in the private sector. One advantage of working in the private sector is the ease with which one can get promoted. Employees are regularly recognized and rewarded in the private sector when their work is good. Moreover, the pay for private sector jobs is very high as compared to the pay that people receive in the public sector. Similarly, job definition is quite clear in the private sector. Thus, conflicts are minimized. It is, however, important to note that the private sector has some disadvantages. To begin with, the rate of job turnover in the private sector is very high. Therefore, it is very easy for one to be fired in the private sector when employers are not satisfied with the output. Secondly, people in the private sector are usually overworked because employers want to get maximum output from each input. Human capital is one of the inputs. Furthermore, junior employees in the private sector do not enjoy some benefits which are enjoyed by senior employees. Conclusion. It is important to note that each of the sectors has both benefits and drawbacks. On the same note, people have different priorities and preferences. Therefore, it is upon one to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of each sector and make a choice. If one wants job security and other extra benefits, the public sector is the way to go. On the other hand, if an individual wants a place to quickly advance his or her career, the private sector is the best place to be. Study Corgi can help you make your studies smarter. Visit studycorgi.com for more samples like this, study tips, and writing tools.